Here's a few centers that can help your fantasy team here in week 3, which this season's going quick already that we're in week 3. And the first guy, Zenith Cantor of the Portland Trailblazers. He's been playing well this season. I've mentioned this many times. He's a better fantasy player than a real-life player. And Cantor, the last few games, he's really putting up good games. December 28th, 6 for 9 from the field, 66%, 12 points, 14 rebounds, and a steal. December 30th versus the Clippers, 4 for 9 from the field, 10 points, 10 boards. Versus Golden State, he had a down game on New Year's Day, 5 points, 2 rebounds, but that game was a laugher, so he didn't play that many minutes, only 11. But last night in the rematch with Golden State and Portland, 8 for 12 from the field, 24 points, 12 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. So Cantor, he's putting up double-doubles, it seems like, pretty much every night, and somehow he's still available in a bunch of fantasy leagues at 65%. So Cantor, if somehow he's out there in your fantasy leagues, you better go out there and get him. He's going to help you with scoring. He's going to get rebounds. His shooting percentage has been pretty good this season, and he's an ideal center for fantasy teams because he only qualifies there. And like I said, he's going to get 12 and 8 and 9 a game, and that's perfect for your fantasy team with a good field goal percentage. So I would go out there and get him now before it's too late. The next guy is Bismack Biyombo of the Charlotte Hornets. Biyombo, he was on this list last week, but he's going to be on it once again. He's not getting added in enough of fantasy leagues as Biyombo, and he's actually had some big games the last few nights. December 30th versus Dallas, 9.6 rebounds, 3 of 6 from the field. Then versus Memphis on New Year's Day, 16 points, 12 boards, 2 assists. 2 nights ago versus Philly, 3 for 7 from the field, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. So Biyombo, he's pretty much almost putting up a double-double like Cantor, and he's going to play major minutes for this team with Cody Zeller out. So Biyombo, he's getting about 30 minutes a game right now. This is what you want to see. He's a true center as well. I would like to see the block shots go up for him, but he's going to be a double-double type of player, and you can't go wrong with that, especially on the fantasy waiver wire, especially if you got injuries or guys struggling, and he's available in 69% of fantasy leagues. I will go out there and get him now before it's too late. The next center I would add on waivers this week is Gorgie Zhang of the Memphis Grizzlies. Zhang, he's had a resurgence a little now in the last few games. This guy, he didn't do much the last 2 seasons in the NBA, but now with Memphis, he's playing about 20-25 minutes is Zhang, and he's having decent games. December 30th in Boston, 6 for 10 from the field. He added 2 threes, which he's adding to his game, that 3-point shot, and you need it nowadays to stay in the league. But anyway, he had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Then versus Charlotte on New Year's, 5 for 9 from the field, added 2 threes again in that one, 14 points, 8 rebounds, an assist, and he added 2 blocks. And then last night versus the Lakers, it was an off game here for Zhang, 2 for 6. He did add another 3 though, 5.7 rebounds, 4 assists. So Zhang, he's added a little to his game. He's become a little bit of a better passer. He obviously added that 3-point shot, which has kept him in the league now the last 2 or 3 years, and he's got a decent role on this Memphis team. Obviously, Jonas Valanciunas is the center over there, and they got Clark, Jaren Jackson when he comes back, but Zhang, he's putting up serviceable numbers for fantasy teams, and he's definitely worth an add in my opinion, especially in deep leagues, and he's available in 89% of fantasy leagues. So go take a look at Zhang, and this week he's got 3 games coming up, which is pretty good. The next center is Naz Reid of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he was also on the list last week as a waiver wire addition to your fantasy team. And Karl Anthony Towns, we don't know when he's going to come in 75% of fantasy leagues. In the last few games, he's putting up serviceable and solid numbers. December 27th at LA, 5 for 13 from the field, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Then versus the Clippers on December 29th, 4 for 6 from the field, 11 points, 3 boards, an assist, and he added a 3 also. Then versus Washington on New Year's Day was his best game so far this season, 7 for 10 from the field, 17 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and 2 blocks. And then last night versus Denver, another solid game, 6 for 9 from the field, 13 points, 4 boards, an assist, and a block. So Reed, he's not playing crazy minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. He's starting for Towns. Minnesota, they go with a lot of small ball lineups, but Reed, he could stretch the floor a little at least, where he's capable of hitting three-pointers, and we've seen him hit about 1 to 1.5 a game so far in the early going of the season. He's got 3 games coming up. Towns, there's no timetable for his return. It's a week-to-week type of thing. And those sprained wrists, and dislocated wrists, that's nothing to play around with. So Reed, I think Minnesota, they're going to stick with him for a while, because Towns, I think he's going to be out at least 2 or 3 more weeks. And this team, I don't think they're going to contend anyway this season. So I don't think it's worth for them to rush Towns out. So if Reed's still out there, he's definitely worth an add. The next add at center, this could be a surprising one to people. But Javon McGee, I think he's definitely worth the roster spot. And McGee, he's been putting up some decent numbers the last few ball games. Last week versus New York on the 29th, 5 for 7 from the field. He did add a 3, 11 points, 9 boards, a steal, and a block. Then versus Indy on December 31st, bad shooting performance, 3 for 11 from the field, but he added 7 points, 13 rebounds, which is great, and a block. And then versus Atlanta on the 2nd in a shocking victory, 6 for 11 from the field, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. So Javon McGee, he's going to play about 15 to 25 minute window. And McGee, when we've seen him in expanded roles over his career, he's got capabilities of putting up a double-double and blocking a shot at 2 a game. And right now this Cleveland team, I know it's a youth movement over there, but McGee, he's probably a guy they want to build up his value and see if they could get something for him at the trade deadline. They pretty much took him on as a dump in that Laker trade to give them room to sign a couple players in the offseason. But Javon McGee, he can help fantasy teams. He's going to get rebounds, like I said. He's going to block shots. And he's also been working on that three-point shot. He's actually hit 3 so far in his first 5 games, so that's not horrible. And the final center I would look to add on waivers this week is Robert Williams of the Boston Celtics. Williams, he's been playing good this season. But the last few games for him, December 27th versus Indy, 6 for 7 from the field, 12 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. Then versus Indy the next night on the 28th, 8 points, 5 boards. Then versus Memphis on the 30th, 6 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, a steal, and 4 blocks. And then versus Detroit yesterday, before he went down, he only played 11 minutes, but he had 5 rebounds and a block. And then Detroit again the other night, 5 points, 4 boards, 2 steals, a block, and 2 assists. So Robert Williams, he's playing, he's getting things going, and right now I think he's going to be fine. He's not on the injury report, so he's going to play minutes. I know they got Diaz and Tristan Thompson there, but Williams, he's giving you a little bit of everything with about a block, a steal a game, about 8 or 9 rebounds it seems like, and he's going to get more minutes as the season goes on, I believe, for the Celtics team. So Robert Williams, he's available still in 85% of fantasy leagues, that is, and he's definitely worth an answer. That's a few centers I would look to add on waivers this week, heading into week 3 of the fantasy basketball season.